Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do another welding test in this video. If you've watched the two videos I've done on passing the iCar welding test, this video here kind of stems from that. I had a comment from a viewer. He wanted to know if the way that you see a lot of guys on YouTube do welding, and that's usually do-it-yourself guys putting in patch panels, which is just a series of tack welds. And his question was, is that iCar approved? Well, I can't speak for iCar, but in my opinion, no, it's not. iCar has 10 welds on their test, and I explain these if you've watched those other videos. These are meant to replicate what the factory does as far as strength and the way they perform in a collision. So if you're just taking a panel and overlapping it like you're putting a rust repair panel in, and you're just going to put a series of tack welds on that edge, some guys will just leave a tack every ½ inch and fill it, or you can come through and fill them all the way in with welds. And I don't believe that iCar recognizes that, because there's nowhere on a car that the factory puts welds in like that, but that doesn't mean that they don't work. So I'm going to do a couple test panels. I'm going to take the first one and just put 3 or 4 plug welds in here, make that an overlap, and I'm going to destroy that. And then I'm going to take another couple panels and I'm just going to put probably maybe 6 or 8 tack welds and destroy this. So I'm going to see how it performs. So once these are welded and I destroy them, stick around, because I'm going to explain to you what both of these mean. Okay, on this first one, I'm just going to put, I think, 4 holes in here. Use my antique Whitney punch. And these holes won't be quite 5/16. They're a little bit over 1/4 of an inch, but for this test, it's fine. Okay, 4 plug welds in there, good penetration, burn through on the back side. Let's just do an overlap with some tack welds now. Okay, there's 7 tack welds. I'm going to put this in a vise now. We'll destroy both of these and see what happens. Okay, this probably not going to destroy. Eventually it would probably crack right in half there. Probably sit here for 5 minutes trying to get that to break. So let's put the other one in. Okay, and actually the welds did what they were supposed to. It tore around here, around all those little tacks. Not as strong as the plug welds, but stick around, let me explain how this works. Let me give you my thoughts on this. Now, as you're putting rust patches on a car, this is a perfectly acceptable way to do it. But you don't want to use tacks like this if you're working on a customer's car in a body shop in a collision. I've seen guys use these before, putting in core support or an apron, and you're welding the apron to the frame rail. And I've seen guys just use tack welds. And when they're exposed like that, it looks sloppy, it looks unprofessional, and they're not going to perform like a plug weld. And that's what these are meant for, to duplicate what the factory does with their resistant spot welder. They've been tested, they're approved. That's why iCar stands behind these. That's why they have testing. These are supposed to perform like the factory in a collision. These aren't, but if you're putting rust patches in a car, there is absolutely nothing wrong with using this, because the manufacturer already failed you by designing their cars to rot out. They failed you by having a warranty that doesn't take care of rust holes. And if you ask, well, how is that going to perform in a collision if you've got these kind of welds holding a patch panel? Really doesn't make any difference, because how is that car going to perform in a collision when the bottom of the rocker panel's rusted off, the bottom of the quarter's rusted off, the frame is rusting, and that's all from the factory. The way it's designed and treated, it doesn't hold up, it rots through. There's really no protection there in case of a major collision. Factory doesn't worry about that, so don't worry about putting a patch panel in. Rocker panels, lower doors, quarter panels, bedsides. If you want to tack weld them like that, you can leave the gap and fill it if you want. You can tack it, you know, one right after another and fill it in solid. You're kind of on your own how you're going to do it, but that's perfectly acceptable on a patch panel. So I hope you got a little bit of information out of this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Remember, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done it. Thanks for watching.